it is 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English news. For tonight, we have as headlines arrival of the second and third group of the Djiboutian pilgrims in Medina in Saudi Arabia. Concerning international scene, Israel and Hamas agree on a truce. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the National Youth League, Mr. Ali Ahmed Musa, and the General Secretary Ahmed Mogula, surrounded by their close collaborators, expressed their trust in the State Secretary for State and Youth, which they are constantly concerned to translate concretely on the ground the will of the President of the Republic, who wants to make youth his battle horse in the perspective of national development, and that the sovereign powers conferred on it. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sport has spared no effort to implement a dynamic aim at raising the level of national sport, the integration and socio-professional integrations of young people. Young peoples have indicated the leaders of the league. For his part, the minister said he was immediately honored by the visit of the National League of Young and by the same political will of the government. The minister declared himself fully available to support the league's promising actions for Djiboutian youth. Finally, Hassan Mohamed Kamel insisted on the need to set up a permanent contact group to respond in tandem to the demand of our community in all areas. The members of the second and third group of Djiboutian pilgrims arrived at Medina al-Munawwara in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, were greeted by the Office of Pilgrims Affairs and the Director General of Waqf Property, Mr. Ilmi Nur Jama, and the Communication Directors of Waqf Umar Ali Mirane, Sheikh Ali Dire. Moreover, the pilgrims of the second and third group were warmly welcomed to arrive at the hotel dedicated to their residence by the head of the Hajj sections of the Djibouti Consulate in Jeddah, Mr. Osman Farah Roqaye, and the Deputy Consul General. Finally, let us note that the pilgrimage is a precious occasion granted to the pilgrims to learn to fear Allah, evils be it considered with the reverence his right, and to flee his prohibitions. The Ministry of Health, with the support of the WHO, organized a 5-day training workshop at the Hotel Acacia on the global regulations of infection material conditioning and transport, addressing to health staff in charge of biological sample. This training is part of the international health regulation implemented by the Department of Health through the National Institute of Public Health of the Djibouti. The aim is to strengthen the skills of health personnel in the international procedure for air, road and maritime transport of these infection substances, especially during the diagnostic sampling, which is sent to specialized laboratory around the world. These new procedures meet international standards for better protections of personnel, the public and the environment in accordance with the method of classification, marking, labeling and packaging of this infectious product. And finally, this training will strengthen the role played by the Djibouti Health Department in the national agenda for global health security. In his intervention, the Director of the Human Resources, the Acting Director of the Human Resources, welcomed the commitment of the health staff who has participated and followed this training workshop with professionalism. The Djiboutian Road Agency, with the collaborations of the Domain and Land Conservation, has conducted a process of supervision and good conduct on the project viabilizations of 27 total linear road of 9 kilometers to be built in the southern Haramous. The project for the viabilizations of Haramous Road is built by the company Hawk International. These backfilling and asphalting works are carried out under the supervision of the Djiboutian Road Agency. the reservoirs of concessionaires EDD, Djibouti Telecom, Oniad, the urban planning department were completed. We have the press release. Artas Prefecture announces tomorrow's launch of 25 editions of the Artas Summer Football Friendship Tournament. The first opening match will pit the Kartile team and against the Wea team. And concerning the international theme, Israel and Hamas agreed on truce to end Gaza's flare-up. Palestinian officials, Israeli and Hamas, the Islamist group that rules the Gaza Strip, agreed on a truce. On more detail in this report.
And Hamas, the Islamist group that rules the Gaza Strip, agreed on truce on Tuesday to end the flare-up in cross-border fighting. There was no immediate comment from Israeli officials. A Palestinian official with the knowledge of the ceasefire talks, which is mediated by Egypt, said the truce will begin at 20:45 p.m. Israeli aircraft strike more than 115 targets in Gaza on Wednesday night and Tuesday, and Palestinian militant fires score rocket, including a long-range missile deep into Israel.
Mali's 2018 presidential poll meet the 24 contenders. Malian will head to the polls on Sundays to vote in a presidential election that observers say will test the stability of the country. Listen to this detail.
15,000 passengers face travel measure on Friday after Ryanair announced it will have to cancel around 4. As ethnic tensions and clashes continue across the country, especially in the north, they are doubted the elections will be held in some parts, but the West African country has a long history of relatively peaceful elections. On 4th July, the Constitutional Court validated the 24 candidates to run in the July 29 presidential race, while 6 applications were rejected. Mali's incumbent President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, who took office in 2013, and opposition frontrunner Somalia and side are accepted to be the 2 main candidates in the field.
This is it for tonight news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.